Are you ready?
You better get ready.
Get ready to dive into the heart of local sports action. Broadcasting live from the heartland of Missouri. Welcome to the SEMO Scramble on SEMO ESPN.
Get set.
Because it's time to catch up on the latest local highlights, in-depth analysis, and interviews from the Boot Heel and beyond.
Get set. Here we go.
Welcome in. Good Saturday morning. It is the SEMO Scramble here on SEMO ESPN Radio, 1220 AM, 93.5 FM, and online at SEMOESPN.com. Rusty Hendricks, glad to be with you. Beautiful day today. Hopefully you were able to stay safe through some of the storms last night. I know some of the Scott County area got hit pretty good. Some other areas as well, maybe doing some cleanup today. And again, thoughts and prayers for those that were affected. And, again, just always tough, man. We just went through this a little bit ago with some storms and another round last night. And we're thankful for the coverage of stations like our own and the weather forecast and things that they put out there. Our station does a great job of posting that on social media in different places, of getting those alerts out there. Making sure that people are aware and informed of what's going on. So, again, that many lives are saved because of that. But, again, thanks for being with us today. Should be a fun day and a fun show. A lot of baseball talk today. We're going to talk to Cardinals here in a moment. But here at 9:15, talking things over with the head coach for the Chaffee High School baseball team, and Aaron Horrell. We'll talk to him. Number 1 seed in Class 2 District 3. Chaffee having an excellent year. And at 9:30, arguably, and in my opinion, is the best pitcher in our area in Noah Johnson. He's from East Prairie. He's having a great year. He is signed to play at SIUE, so Southern Illinois, Edwardsville, signed to play there. And in college next year, the senior having an absolute awesome season. And one of the best, no doubt, baseball players in our area. So, again, should be fun here today. Did you watch any ball last night? A couple of big games in the playoffs last night in the NBA, NHL. We'll get to those later on. Also, the Cardinals, man, they are on a streak. I think they've won, 11 of the last 12, something like that. They're playing good baseball. Man, they're scoring runs, too. They're 25-20. They're still second in the division. And, again, the Royals, they're no slouch. They're really not. They're a team that made the playoffs last year, and a team that has a shot to do it again this year. They have some good players in that lineup. Bobby Witt Jr. batting .316 on the year. Michael Garcia right around .300 on the year as well. Jonathan India, the former Red, at the top of the lineup. I mean, they've got some good players. But how about the Cardinals winning 10-3 the final last night? So they're doing this around baseball. This weekend is one of the kind of rivalry weekends, if you will. It's the I-70 series, the Cardinals at Kauffman Stadium against the Royals. So again, they've been doing this around baseball. This is a weekend for a lot of regional rivalries. Of course, the Mets, the Yankees, going at it as well this weekend. The Cubs and White Sox, so similar, right? So Cardinals get on the board first in that second inning. They score an early run, wild pitch that allows a run to score, and then they do some more damage in the fourth inning. 2 runs in the fourth to give them a 3-0 lead. Royals bounced back. They made it a 3-2 game in the fifth, but that sixth inning was huge. 4 runs in that sixth inning. Here was Wilson Contreras. He had a solid game. Wilson in the ball game was 2 for 5 with 3 runs scored and an RBI. And this is a highlight from Wilson Contreras for the Cardinals.
That's hammered toward right center field. Isbell on the run, still going, not going to get it. That's going to bounce off the track and wall. Donovan will score. It's another double for Contreras, and the Cardinals extend their lead. It's 2-0.
So 2-0 at the time there, but as we move later, we'll get into Ivan Herrera. Again, I mentioned in that 6th inning is when things took hold, and bases were loaded, 1 out. It's a 3-2 Cardinal lead, and they take advantage. Ivan Herrera, he has been awesome for the Cardinals. Listen in.
Swing and a shot hammered toward the gap left center. That is down and rolling to the wall. 2-run score. Here comes Contreras around. He will score. Herrera clears him with a double.
Chip, you wanted more, and that's exactly what you got in it.
So Ivan Herrera, 6-2 game at that time. How about Ivan Herrera, man? Dude, this guy has been something else. Last night, he was 3 for 4, 2 runs scored, the 4 runs batted in. But look, he's got 50 plate appearances so far, 43 at-bats this year. Of course, he missed some time with that kind of a knee issue, right? But back from the IL, and he hasn't missed a beat. This guy, listen to this, 18 hits, 12 runs scored. He has 5 homers, 18 RBIs, but a .419 batting average. .419 batting average. 480 on base, so he's near 500 on base, and a 1,300-plus OPS. Yeah, that'll play. Now, here's my thing. Not that, again, I mentioned it before on the Sports Huddle this past week, not that he's having a terrible year, but Nolan Arenado, 0 for 4 last night. He did have an RBI. He's batting .247 with a .712 OPS. Not terrible, but not great. Not a cleanup hitter, right? Ivan Herrera, where is he batting in the lineup? He's batting 6th. 6th. Can we please move Herrera up in the lineup? He's batting .419. A 1,300 OPS. I mean, this guy is hot. Can we please move him up? Can we put him in the cleanup spot? The 3-hole, I'm fine with that. I mean, heck, if you want to even put him in the 2-hole, I'm fine with that. Move him up, please. He deserves. And look, I get it. Arenado, you don't want to hurt his feelings. Can't get him out of sorts. He's having fun. He's enjoying things. Blah blah blah. Look, I don't know. Arenado. I don't know. Would it kill him to be down in the 5 or 6 hole? And if he starts getting hot as well, move him up. Move him up. Okay. You play the guys that are hitting, all right? You play the guys that are hot, and right now he is hot. And also last night, I did want to mention Jordan Walker had a nice base hit up the middle. That was big for him. Picked up an RBI. He's batting .186. Guy that really needs some positive things going. But Jordan Walker did get a base hit RBI last night. How about Andre Palante? Last couple starts have been great. 7 innings last night, 2 runs, no walks, 4 Ks. Last night, he was good. Gordon Graceffo, he's starting to carve himself out a role in the bullpen. 2 innings last night, a couple of strikeouts. He gave up the 1 run, but still, he looks pretty good. He's got good electric stuff. You like the way the Cardinals are going about it right now. Today, it'll be Miles Michaelis on the mound for the Cardinals. Originally, it was going to be Seth Lugo to start today, but currently Kansas City has TBD to be starting. So I'm not sure why, if there's something happened with Seth Lugo, maybe he's getting pushed back, or maybe they're wanting to put, Michael Wacha, who is scheduled to pitch tomorrow. Maybe they'll move him. I don't know. But Michael is scheduled for the Cardinals. We'll see who pitches for Kansas City. Maybe Lugo. Maybe Michael Wacha, somebody else. Again, Wacha is scheduled to pitch tomorrow along with Liberatore. But a 6:10 p.m. game tonight. See if the Cardinals can keep it going. They celebrated the 1985 World Series last night. The Cardinals getting the win. I like it. They're going to celebrate the 2015 World Series winners for the Royals tonight. So congrats to them. But Cardinals keep it rolling. And again, scoring runs. Let me look. All right. So what they have done of late. Okay, 10 runs today. Or last night, 10 runs. Okay. On Wednesday, they had scored 14 runs in that doubleheader. Okay. Now, they got the loss on the game before as a 2-1 ball game. That's okay, but they got the win 3-2 on Monday against the Phillies, 6-1 against the Nationals, 4-2 against the Nationals, 10-0 against the Nationals. They won against the Pirates 5-0, 2-1, 6-3, and against the Mets in the doubleheader 6-5 and 5-4. So their bats are doing pretty good, but the pitching really, as you look at that, the story as well, the bullpen, the starting pitching has been good of late. And look, got to give credit where credit is due, right? I know I've talked about before, I'm not a huge Ali Marmol fan. I do think he's fine, okay? That would be how I think he's average, an average manager. That's how I would determine Ali. And I think he's had a pretty decent year managing this year. I think there has been some improvement for him as well. So no qualms, no problems with really, for the most part, what Ali has done this year. And, you know, he's had a hard job of trying to mix and match and trying to get these guys at bats. I think he's done a fairly decent job of getting Walker and Gorman and some of these guys plate appearances, even though they're not playing well. Alec Burleson at times as well. And, you know, give credit to Brant Brown and what he has been able to do with the hitters and having a better approach at the plate. You know, we talked about it last year, how big of an issue of hitting with runners in scoring position. They've been much better, especially in the month of May. The Cardinals have been better in that aspect as well. But again, one of the things right now I want to see, Ivan Herrera, can we move him up in the lineup? Please. All right. I do want to talk about this real quick. Cardinals, by the way, so in July, so just in a couple of months, it's coming up pretty quick. The Cardinals are going to be picking fifth in the Major League Draft. So something to think about, see what the Cardinals can do. There's been a couple of mock drafts. There's been, a bunch of them, right? But in a couple of the latest ones and some that are reputable, in the Major League Baseball mock draft put out by MLB.com, Jim Callis does a great job. And then ESPN.com, Kylie McDaniel. Both of those guys do a good job of covering Major League Baseball, the draft. And they both, in their latest draft, have the Cardinals picking fifth, have an LSU 6'2" left-handed pitcher, Cade Anderson, going to the Cardinals. So a name to at least look at, think about, foreshadow a little bit. Doesn't mean the Cardinals will pick him, but they both think that he has a good shot. 6-1 record this year at LSU, 76 and a third innings, 20 walks, 124 strikeouts, and a 3.66 ERA. He's sitting 92 to 94 with a fastball. He can touch up to 97 as well. So a guy that can get it up there a little bit. Curveball slider, changeup guy for Cade Anderson. Now, he did have Tommy John back in 2022, but he's been good since. He's projected as a possible number 2 starter. So that's something to think about. He has a high floor. High floor is a lefty, right? So, even if he's not a 2, he's a guy that could probably step up there and be really good as well beyond that. Look, the projected number 1 pick, by the way, is Matt Holliday's youngest son, Ethan Holliday. Of course, his oldest son's already in the bigs with the Orioles, but Ethan Holliday is the projected number 1 pick with the Nationals. Would love to get him, right? Love to get him slide down, but I don't see any way that he would slide down to the Cardinals at 5. But that would be a guy you'd love to have. But again, Cade Anderson, just something to think about. Somebody that potentially the Cardinals could look at as well. How about some of the younger guys? How about TK Roby last night? He pitches for Double-A Springfield. Nearly untouchable last night. 5 2/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, 11 strikeouts. He was nasty. That's a guy to look at. He's a guy that I've been high on. If he can stay healthy, TK Roby, I'd like to see him maybe move up to AAA, get him a little shot as well. But you guys, you have some guys that are pitching well. I mean, in AAA, obviously Michael McGreevy's been pretty solid. Again, in AA, You'll get you have TK Roby is a guy that's doing really well. Ian Anderson is a guy as well down in the minor league levels that's been pitching well. I think he's minor league pitcher of the month this past month. And also, a guy that's coming off an injury, Quinn Matthews. I think he's going to be back here soon. So hopefully he can get in the mix and kind of get built back up and be a guy. You never know. Maybe towards the end of the year you look at for Quinn Matthews also as a guy that you could look at moving up the ranks for the Cardinals as well. All right, so that is a look at the St. Louis Cardinals. And again, the game today at 6:10 against the Royals, see if they can keep it going. We're going to talk some high school baseball next. Talking things over with head coach Aaron Horrell on the SEMO Scramble. We'll be right back.
I'm Alec Burleson of the St. Louis Cardinals, and you're listening to the SEMO Scramble on SEMO ESPN.
Welcome back in. It is the SEMO Scramble here on SEMO ESPN Radio. That's 1220 AM, 93.5 FM, and online at SEMOESPN.com. Talking a little high school baseball. Man, it's getting close, folks. Getting close to the end of the year. Playoff time in high school baseball. An exciting time indeed. And talking things over with head coach Aaron Horrell of the Chaffee baseball team, number 1 seed in Class 2 District 3. They will take on St. Vincent on Monday at 4 p.m., weather permitting, of course, but 19-3 record this year, back-to-back state appearances, 1 third in state in both 2023 and 2024. So first of all, Coach, appreciate the time for joining me. I guess how long has there been a Horrell in the dugout for Chaffee baseball, number 1?
Well, it's a long time. I'm going to guess we're around 33, 34 straight years. My dad started as an assistant and then became the head coach, I believe, in 2000 and held that for, 22 years if you give credit for the COVID year. And I was his assistant for, I believe, 8 of those years. And then now I've been the head coach, and I'm in my 4th season. So, and he's still on staff with me. So we're somewhere between 32 and 34 years of this.
That is awesome. And I know that you guys are having an excellent year. How would you compare this team to maybe the last couple of teams that you've had?
Well, it's a completely different squad and different dynamic. We win in different ways than we have in years past. And we knew that would be a challenge. Losing a kid like Levi McKinney, who, when you penciled him as your starter, you always felt like you had a really good chance. And as long as the offense could find 3 or 4 runs, you knew that you were going to have a great chance to beat anybody that you played. And so he could get you out of some pickles if you got in a jam with his ability to strike some people out with his good velocity and a good slider. And we don't have that kind of arm in terms of the velocity this year. We've got a bunch of sophomores that kind of do it by committee, and I'll give them a lot of credit. We only brought back, I think my coach told me this, an inning and a third of varsity experience from last year.
Wow.
And so these sophomores, they didn't throw a lot of varsity last year, if at all, and they threw JV, but we played some really good JV squads. We played Valley, I think, 3 times, and they had an undefeated freshman team. We played Cape, Notre Dame, Jackson, Sykeston. And so even though we weren't playing varsities, we were playing really quality clubs so that those guys could kind of get that preparation so that this year, when we needed them to step up, that hopefully they would be ready. And so far at this point, I couldn't be more proud of their effort as a group because they've done what we've asked. And for us, that's just throw strikes.
Yeah.
You can't defend a walk, and you're going to have errors in baseball. So if you can eliminate the walks, then when an error happens, if a guy gets a hit, well, now that might be first and third, or it might be second and third, and they still haven't scored. And so we've just tried to play simple baseball, and those guys have really done a good job going out and executing.
How big, too, was starting the year off hot? I think it was, and correct me, I think it's somewhere around 15 in a row that you started the season, something like that. I mean, how important was that? You mentioned the young squad, so getting some success early, building some confidence and a little mojo. How big was that?
It was huge, and I kind of giggle as you ask me because as a coaching staff and like when I had my preseason player meeting and our parent meeting, I kind of compared this team to my first year team because we played a lot of freshmen and sophomores my first year as a coach, and we finished the year 500. We pulled a big upset in the district semifinal. We were Class 3 that year. I think the first year and only year we've been Class 3 in baseball, and we lost in the district championship to Scott City. And I kind of had flashbacks to thinking, just comparing it to another young squad I had, and thinking, if we compete and we're around 500 all year, but we get better, like that's going to be a good season. And we come out of the gate and we beat some really good teams. Maybe their record doesn't indicate it, but we beat a good Meadow Heights team. And their record, they lost yesterday to a good St. Vincent team, but Meadow Heights is somebody that went extra innings with a 25-2 Scott City team. And, we come out and get that big district win early in the season on that second Friday of the year. We turn the page on Monday, and we knock off Kelly 3-2 in a conference rivalry. And I think that set the tone for this season, because if those games don't go that way, maybe it's a rockier start and you're still trying to find yourself or find your mojo or your confidence. But I think those early games really helped us figure out that, we can compete right now. We don't have to wait 2 or 3 years till these kids are juniors or seniors or whatever. Like, let's just go play baseball and compete right now.
Yeah, talking things over with head coach Aaron Horrell of the Chaffee baseball team. So give us a few guys that have stood out this year for you, Coach, this season. Who are the guys that you've had to rely on in big games?
You're not going to like my answer, but our team, like, middle of the year, I was talking to other coaches, and I was like, I don't know. I just don't know what to hang our hat on, like what our team does really well. That's not a disrespect to our team, but, I don't know that we're an offensive powerhouse, and we don't have the power arms, and we're not the fastest team. And I finally just come to realize the strength of our team is our team. And I don't think we have anybody hitting under 270. We don't have holes in our lineup. A guy may have a bad game, but 1 through 9, our kids compete. We've minimized strikeouts on offense. And so offensively, it's kind of been a by-committee approach, just like our pitching. But our pitching, we've mainly relied on some sophomore left-handed starters in Dane McMullen and Jordan Essner. They've done a really good job. And then another sophomore, Mason Vaughn, has thrown really well for us. His innings are maybe been a little limited based on some infield injuries we've dealt with, and so it's harder to play the defense we want when he's on the mound. But we've done a good job filling those gaps, and then we've got a sophomore in Nolan Fowler that I don't know that closer is the right word, but we've used him in short relief spurts. He's a little bit of a closest thing we've got to a power arm, and I think he's averaging about 2 strikeouts an inning and done a really good job for us. So, between Dane and Jordan, left-handed, throwing strikes and getting some movement, they've done a great job, and Mason's done a great job. And then when we've called upon Nolan, he's been good as well.
It's only 3 losses, Coach, this year: Orion, Caruthersville, Scott City. What did the team learn from those games?
Well, I think we learned Orion's really good. That's a game we lost 7-2, and when the game finishes, a lot of times in high school you can look back to this moment or that moment, or if we don't make this error or we do this. That game, Orion just flat out beat us. They've got a really good club. They got 5 seniors that are hitting in the lineup 1 through 5. They're all state, all conference caliber players, and so that was a tough lineup to navigate. And they put some balls in play with authority early, and when we got behind, and they just outplayed us that day. And those are the games that are easy to live with as a coach when you lose, because you're like, well, that team might just be better that day. Now the Caruthersville game is the one that I think really stung the most, and I think we might have grew up a little bit that day. We jumped out 4-0, and we just kind of got complacent offensively and didn't run the bases well and made some, uncharacteristic mistakes defensively that we haven't done this year. But really, it was kind of my expectation with our youth and inexperience. I thought we would be that team more often, but to this team's credit, they haven't been. But we end up losing that game on a walk-off single 5-4. But again, Caruthersville is not a bad opponent. They've beat Cape Central. They beat a good Bernie team yesterday. They're up to 15 wins. They're a good Class 3 school as well. And then the Scott City game, we got up 3-1, and Kobe Watson's a really, really good player. He's going to play at Three Rivers next year, and he hit a base-clearing double that got us, and they got us 4-3. But I've been really proud of our kids, even in those losses. You know, it's good to take things away from them, but I thought, for the most part, even in those games, we've played good baseball.
So you alluded to it earlier, but St. Vincent with a victory 6-4 over Meadow Heights yesterday in district play. So in the district semis, you'll take on St. Vincent. Bloomfield will take on Puxico, a couple of Stoddard County teams there. Kind of preview that matchup with St. Vincent. How tough is that going to be?
Well, Coach Sauer does a really good job. I know their record. They're only 7-13, but they play a lot of Class 3 and 4 schools up north. And, you know, they always play good fundamental baseball come districts. It seems like they always pull an upset somewhere. And that's not to discredit them. That's a testament to them and them getting better throughout the season. And we know they're going to be a good opponent. We got on them early when we played this year, but they fought back, and I think we had to score late to kind of pull back away, and we won 8-4. But they'll have Jacob Seaball available. He's a good senior right-handed pitcher, has pretty good velocity, and we did not see him in our first matchup. We have faced him in previous years, but again, this is basically almost a whole new lineup, and so he'll provide a tough challenge for us, and they'll play fundamental, and we'll have to be on top of our game defensively and just execute fundamentals.
I know as coaches you don't like to do this because you want to go game by game, but we're going to do it anyway. Look, there's a chance you could play a solid Bloomfield team in the district championship. What would it take to win another district title to make a little bit of another run here for you guys?
Well, it's going to take a lot, and you know, you look at our record and you see that we're the 1 seed, and so I know the outside thinks that we're heavy favorites, but Bloomfield, I think, has only lost 4 or 5 games in their own right. I think they're 17-4 coming in. Our game got rained out with them, and we couldn't find a makeup date. And they're a really good opponent too. I know they've got the Upchurch kid and Edwards and a Kraft kid, and there's plenty more, I'm sure. Those are just some of the names that stand out, and they're going to be a formidable opponent for us or for Puxico or for St. Vincent, whoever they play. They're a really good squad, but that's not to even discredit Puxico because I know Puxico and Bloomfield split this year. Puxico will have their lefty Mason Parsley as a senior. He's a state champion basketball player. He's a competitor. I've watched him play in basketball all winter, and I'm sure he'll be ready to go to compete against them or us if they save him to try to get to a championship versus us or St. Vincent. Our district's really tough, you know. St. Vincent, like I said, they always find late-season success, and Bloomfield has had a good year. And Puxico, again, they've knocked off Bloomfield this year, and they knocked off a good East Carter team. The Final Four standing here in our district's a really, really good group.
Let's look at Class 2 as a whole. I mean, look, if you're fortunate enough to make it through districts, Coach, congrats. Valley Catholic is probably going to be waiting on you. I mean, one of the best teams in the state. I mean, not only them, but, I mean, Class 2 in general, Coach, it is tough. How tough is Class 2 this year?
It's always tough. You know, I think Class 2 baseball in this area it's deep. You know, you've got Van Buren as a 2 seed down in District 1 or 2, whichever district they are.
Yep,
they've got the Smith kid that runs it up there in the high 80s, and they've got the Dillinger kid and Van Landingham. You know, they're stacked, and they played Valley earlier in the year to a 3-2 game. You've got Holcomb and Bernie. You know, Bernie, I think, is the 1 seed, but then you got Holcomb and Zenith in a 2-3, but Holcomb's got the McNabb kid, who I know can run it up there really good. So whoever wins these districts, there's no freebies. You've got a really tough matchup, whether that's going to be the sectional or if you can get through that and get to a quarterfinal. It's a gauntlet in this area.
Absolutely. Again, Aaron Horrell of the Chaffee baseball team. Just last thing, I'll let you go. Just real quick, Coach. Just how much support has this team received? I mean, the fans and parents always great there in Chaffee, and I know that you as a head coach and just your dad as well has got to be proud of what they do year in and year out supporting their teams.
Absolutely. This community really supports our kids and really anything they do academically, sports clubs, organizational things, and athletics. They get behind our kids. We have a good booster club. We have a good showing, and we have a lot of fans at our home games. It's been nice to carry on the tradition of what we try to build here. Even in a season where there was so many question marks coming in, for the kids to come out and have success, and the community to get behind them, it's been huge. But the biggest thing is I want to shout this out. I just want to say that I am so proud of my seniors, because most of them started as freshmen, and we didn't have a lot of upperclassmen leadership to kind of show them what that looked like. And so for those guys last year as juniors and losing the seniors ahead of them, they have been unbelievable leaders to these younger guys, and showing them how to go about things, how to work hard, how we do things at practice. Every time we get home on a bus trip, I got 3 seniors that clean our bus like it's spotless, and the whole team's going in the parking lot, and I got 3 seniors cleaning my bus. And I think that says a lot about why our teams have been successful, because I think the leadership stems from those guys.
Absolutely. Coach, really appreciate the time. Again, Aaron Horrell of Chaffee, appreciate you, Coach. Good luck going forward.
Thank you, sir.
All right, head coach Aaron Horrell, the Chaffee baseball team. We're going to talk more baseball coming up next, talking things over with Noah Johnson of East Prairie. Stay with us. SEMO Scramble, SEMO ESPN. It's the SEMO Scramble here on SEMO ESPN Radio, 1220 AM, 93.5 FM, online, SEMOESPN.com. You can also check us out on the free SEMO ESPN app. Make sure and check out, we'll have the podcast page updated as well after the show. So about an hour after the show, we'll get the podcast of this one up. You can go to SEMOESPN.com/podcast and check it out if you missed anything on the show as well. All right, talking things over now on our hotline with Noah Johnson. He's a senior for the East Prairie Eagles. He signed to go play college baseball at SIUE. Listen to this, folks. He's had an excellent year. So at the end of the regular season, he's gone 47 innings of work. 47 innings, okay? 89 strikeouts for a .89 ERA. .89, under 1, sub 1. Only 7 walks all year. He's only allowed 1 extra base hit all year. So first of all, Noah, thanks for joining me. I just rattled off those stats. What comes to mind when I give those stats?
A lot, I put a hard work before the season, and just to see them numbers and know that the hard work paid off, it feels good. So.
Yeah, you got to be proud of what you've accomplished. Yeah. I mean, senior season, Noah, leaving it all out there on the line, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right, so you committed to play at SIUE. I wanted to ask what led to that decision, what made them the right fit for you?
Yes, sir. So, of course, it was a long process. I started talking to them a long time ago, but it was just like ever since that first phone call, the first visit, they made it feel like I was already a part of the family before even committing there. They always made sure to keep in touch, and it's just overall the feel, what they got building over there, I feel like that it's the right suit for me. It's going to help me develop into the best player that I can possibly be.
How important was it, too, that you committed early, so really here in your senior year, you didn't kind of have that lingering, in the background, oh, well, when am I going to play, right? So you kind of already knew that. Was that an important thing for you to try to make sure and make that decision early? Yeah,
I wanted to get it done before our senior year, just so the pressure's off and I can just go out there and have fun with all the boys one last time. So I decided to just get it over with and let the pressure off.
So I wanted to ask you about your pitch mix. So obviously, look, you can hit too. We'll get into that too. But I know a solid pitcher. I want to get into that. So go through what you throw, okay? So what is your pitch mix on the mound?
So I have a 4-seam fastball. I'm mixing a 2-seam fastball, depending on the hitter. I have a circle change, a curveball, and then I also mix in the slider.
So what's your go-to pitch? When you need a big strikeout, what's that?
I'll end up going towards a slider more often than not.
Do you throw that change-up or 2-seamers to lefty some?
Yep. If I have to, if there's a good lefty up, I'll start them off with a change-up or a 2-seam fastball on the outside.
I like that. So where's your fastball playing up at? Have you touched 90 this spring?
Touched 90 a few times, but the radar's not really been on me, so I don't know exactly like how much, but I know for sure that I've touched it a few times.
That's impressive. So again, talking things over with Noah Johnson, East Prairie, right-handed hurler. Look, you're going to play the winner of Greenville and Woodland as they are scheduled to play today or this afternoon. That'll be in the semifinals. You get the number 2 seed in districts, Noah. So how is the team gearing up for the playoffs? What's kind of the mindset right now of the team?
We're just trying to come into practice whenever we can and just stay in there and stay focused. We know we have a goal that we've had since the beginning of the season, and we want to reach that goal. We know that we have a tough district this year. So it's going to take everybody and a lot of hard work and a lot of focus. For
sure. Look, there's a potential matchup in the district championship. You know who I'm going to say? It's Scott City.
Yes, sir.
What would it mean to you to have the ball on the mound in that game, district championship, and a chance to go after Scott City?
It'd mean a lot. Obviously, we've had some trouble with them in the past. Can't get over that hump. I know that if I have in the championship game, I've had experience. I've done it for the past 3 years, fishing the championship game in district. So hopefully my experience, and I'd love to have the ball in that championship game and hopefully finally get over that hump and beat them.
Do you feel like because of your experience now as a senior, you've kind of been there, done that, there shouldn't be much that's going to rattle you, right?
No, sir, not at all.
All right. Look, you're a multi-sport athlete, very good basketball player as well. Do you think playing other sports, including basketball, has maybe helped you as a baseball player?
Yes, sir, for sure. It's just helped out a lot. Helped me stay in shape. Just give me something to do. That way I'm not downtime, not doing anything. It's just allowed me to just be able to stay athletic and limbo all the time. So,
how much did you enjoy playing basketball?
I enjoyed it a lot. I loved it. But, of course, good things come to an end. But baseball was my calling, so.
Did you track how many dunks you had this year? How many you threw down?
Too many to count.
Too many to count. That's awesome. Look, later on this summer, SEMO Ball, they're going to be putting on an award show for top athletes in the area. You're already there as a basketball nominee, but I'm sure you're going to be there for baseball as well.
Yes,
what would it mean to you and your family if you were chosen as maybe as a one of the best athletes in a particular sport?
It'd mean a lot, just to make everybody proud. They've all played a huge part in getting me where I am today. So just to be able to be recognized for that, not only will recognize me, but also recognize them as well.
Yeah. So what are the goals right now for your team? Going back to your team here, again, district time, hopefully to get out of that. I know that, again, you guys have had an excellent season as well. I mean, 18-5. You had some big wins up there as well. I think you've won 3 straight going into district. So what's the goal right now for you guys?
The goal is to make it out of districts. And then after that, any other game that happens is just a bonus on top of that. But considering the past 3 years, we've made it to the quarterfinals twice, and we can't figure out how to get to state. So if we make it out of districts, the ultimate goal is to make it state.
Absolutely. Just for you personally, what are some of your goals, not just right now, but heading into your freshman season, in college? What are some goals to try to improve and get ready for that?
I'm just going to try to do all I can. Ultimately, when I get there, I do want to be able to make an impact when I get there as a freshman. Hopefully throw some innings and help the team out when I get there. But I know it is going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot of effort. So I'm just going to have to stay focused, too.
What about your coaching staff this year for East Prairie? How much have they helped you along the way?
They've helped me a lot. They always are feeding information. I'm always listening to and taking notes. They know what they know, and they really helped me out all over the years.
All right, last thing, going back to that potential district championship game between Scott City and yourself in East Prairie, is there any chirping going on right now with those guys, or in particular Kobe Watson? That'd be a fun title game. Any chirping going on yet?
Not yet, but it gets closer. There might end up being some, but
all right. Hey, Noah, man, really appreciate the time. Good stuff. I really, have enjoyed following you and what you've done in your high school career, both basketball-wise and baseball-wise. And Just good luck in the future, man, and good luck in districts.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You bet. All right, that is Noah Johnson of East Prairie. Appreciate him for joining us today. Good stuff. I had to throw some of those things out there just because, just to kind of to see how he would respond. He did a great job. Great interview there, Noah Johnson for East Prairie. Let's stay on the high school front for a moment before we get into some of the NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, things like that. One quick, I don't know if you call it breaking news, but definitely news that has come out of late in high school sports. I just received this, my alma mater, Advance. They have hired a new head basketball coach, and it is one of their previous head basketball coaches, in Bubba Wheatley. He's coming back. So Dalton Wilson is out as the coach at Advance. Bubba Wheatley has stepped back in as the head coach for the Advance Hornets. Of course, he has had so much success. Of course, Dalton Wilson played for him as well, and part of the staff for Bubba previously as well. But, of course, Bubba helped lead the Hornets to state a couple of times and has had some great runs as well. So he's back as the head coach. All right. Now let's get into some softball playoffs, some preview here, okay? In Class 1, you have South Pim and Oak Ridge. That's going to be taking place on, that'll be taking place today. If that's, I got it right, yeah. Today, I believe, at 4:30, South Pim and, and Holcomb, that is. The winner of that will move on to the sectional round, and potentially they will take on Oak Ridge, and so that'll be on Tuesday. So Oak Ridge, who just won their first district title, we talked with Caitlin Deckard last week. That'll be fun to see what they could do. I mean, again, potentially South Pim and Oak Ridge. That'll be a fun matchup there. And the winner of the quarterfinal game, that is, on Tuesday, chance to go to state. Bernie, by the way, is also in Class 1. They'll take on Plato on Tuesday. So potentially a couple of teams could have Oak Ridge, could have Bernie. I'm just projecting, but maybe both of those teams could make it to state, part of the semifinal groups. And then in Class 2 in softball, Kennett's made it back to the quarterfinals. They'll face Clearwater. That's going to be a fun game. Clearwater and Kennett. Again, that'll be on Tuesday as well in Class 2 for a chance to go to state. So that is in softball. Again, so a couple of teams that we're keeping an eye on. How about in baseball? Oran and Bell City winners. Okay, a lot of the districts just kind of getting going, but Oran and Bell City winners in Class 1. We saw Richland defeat Scott County Central, Gideon over Delta Deering in a different district as well. So it'll be Oran Oak Ridge today. And then yesterday it was Bell City getting the victory, I believe 6-4. Bell City had someone hit a grand slam in that game. How about that? Bell City moving on. So Bell City Oran in potentially the district final there on the 21st of May on Wednesday, okay? We mentioned some of the other classes, still looking at that. Again, kind of getting going. We'll see if Chaffee can make a run there, okay? They're going to take on St. Vincent, Bloomfield, and Puxico. Also in Class 2, District 4, Valley Catholic. They'll play on Monday either against Bismarck or Crystal City. In Class 3, we mentioned as well about Scott City and East Prairie. Maybe a district final there, but Portageville and also District 1, number 1 seed there. District 2, we mentioned Scott City, East Prairie, but how about District 3 in Class 3? West County, a very good team, somebody to keep an eye on too. So that's kind of look at baseball, just getting going. A lot of games this weekend, some of the opening rounds, and also some of the semifinals coming up early next week. How about in soccer? In soccer preview, okay? The girls going after it. Class 2, District 1, that begins on Monday. You have teams like Perryville, St. Vincent in the mix. Perryville a 4 seed, Saxony a 5 seed, St. Vincent number 2 seed. with St. Pius picking up the 1. So we'll keep an eye on that. That begins on Monday. In Class 3 District 1, that begins today. Notre Dame, the number 1 seed, they're actually getting ready to kick it off against Farmington here in a couple of minutes. You have Cape, the 4 seed, Sykeston, the 5 seed. They'll square off together today. Bluff in North County, then Festus and West Plains. That's all going to be at Cape Central. Again, Notre Dame, the 1 seed. And then in Class 4 District 1, Jackson will kick off at around 4:30, or actually about 4 o'clock today probably. Maybe 4:30, depends. But that'll be against Seckman. That'll be in Webster Groves. Cora Jesus, the number 1 seed there. Nerix Hall, 2. Jackson, again, picking up that 3 seed, taking on Seckman today. That's a look at your soccer districts and playoff action as well. All right, we'll take a break. We'll get off the high school action. Let's talk about some professional ball. NBA, NHL, some big playoff games last night. We'll talk of that next. SEMO Scramble here on SEMO ESPN Radio. Rusty Hendricks, thanks for joining us. Thanks to Aaron Horrell of Chaffee joining us here today. I just got a text from him saying, hey, he asked his dad, Brian, I guess he started in 1990, so 36 years of a Horrell in the dugout for Chaffee. That is awesome. And obviously, they've done a good job. They've made their mark, right, because of all the success that they have had over the years. Chaffee baseball, they're doing something right there. How about Noah Johnson? Good stuff from him. A good head on his shoulders, and appreciate him for talking to me today as well. All right, let's talk a little NBA. All right, Game 6. Look, I talked about it before. You know, Eric and I both, after the injury, the Achilles injury for Tatum's Celtics, you thought, okay, you thought maybe they'd rally for the one game, but then going back to Madison Square Garden in New York, it's like, man, I don't see it. I don't see it for the Celtics. And that was the case. 119-81, an absolute dominating performance. How about Josh Hart? I think he had a triple-double in the game. This was, I think, probably the biggest juncture of the game. The crowd last night was fantastic. They really got into it and behind their team in the Knicks. Look, they were up 44-27 at the time, 5 minutes left in the second quarter. So, look, they had been already playing really, really well, but this kind of was like, okay, this is the Knicks game, and this is what it was, courtesy of ESPN.
Great anticipation. White drives, blocked by McBride. Deuce McBride comes from behind. Hard on the drive, flips it up, and a foul. Knicks on a roll, the lead up to...
So the block there, a la kind of reminds you of what LeBron did. Deuce McBride blocked it off the window as Devin White there go to the rim, and then the other way, it was Josh Hart who went nuts and had a three-point play, ended up converting. Jalen Brunson good last night, scored over 20 points. Another guy too, OG Anunoby. He was excellent last night, over 20 points for him, and he was knocking down some big shots.
OG Anunoby hoists up a three, knocks it down. The tidal wave continues.
Tidal wave continues. Mike Breen on the call there, doing a nice job. So the Knicks, they get it done in Game 6. They take care of business. They blow out the Celtics. So they look to reach their first NBA championship series since 1999. Remember some of those early years, the late 90s, early 2000s. John Stark was in the building last night, Stephon Marbury, but remember a guy like Latrell Sprewell? Yeah, he was on those teams. Of course, he played at Three Rivers for a bit. Latrell Sprewell for the Knicks. So, look, Knicks and Pacers, that's going to be a fun series as well. That'll go back and forth. I could see that going 7 games. All right, there is a 7th game today, a 2:30 game, the Nuggets and Thunder. It'll be at OKC, okay? Thunder, I don't know. Flip a coin. I think I like the Thunder because they're at home, but they've been the best team all year. But Jokic, Murray, by the way, Aaron Gordon, who has been clutch for them, he's actually listed as doubtful for the game. So that'll be, if he doesn't play, maybe that changes things. So, boy, I think that could be a really good game today. Again, at 2:30, the Game 7 in the NBA playoffs. How about the NHL playoffs? Okay, Toronto Maple Leafs and the Florida Panthers. Leafs force a Game 7. Why? Because their star decided to be a star at the right time.
Got 16-13 Florida. Marner comes up with a puck. Here comes Matthews. Fired! Scores! Austin Matthews has scored for Toronto! The zone easily, and a quick little turnover. Marner with a short little release, and where's that shot been? That's the kind of goal that Austin Matthews scores in his sleep, gets it through the stick of Forsling, through the 5-roll of Bobrovsky, and you want to talk about a look of relief right from the eyes of the puck going through the legs. Bobrovsky can't get down, and the captain has given the Maple Leafs the lead here in the third.
So Austin Matthews gives them the lead. That's what they needed. And who assisted? Oh, yeah, Mitch Marner. Mitch Marner, the guy that hopefully the Blues can maybe go after. But they get it done, 2-0 final. Max Pacioretty getting a clutch goal as well late, so good 2-0 lead there. They force a Game 7. Later on today, 7 p.m. on ABC, Jets and Stars, Game 7. Or they play tonight, rather. And do you see maybe the Stars taking care of business? We'll see. So I'm sorry, that is a Game 6, so I misspoke earlier. But a chance to force a Game 7 is Winnipeg. But it's in Dallas at American Airlines Center. I like the Stars. I like the Stars to finish them off here against the Jets and Hellebuck, who has been shaky throughout the playoffs. Also, the PGA Championship right now, you have Vega, who is -8, leading the way. Max Homa at -5. Also, Scotty Scheffler at -5. He's coming up the pack. You know, Rory McIlroy's, I think, right around even. So he would have the long way to go to be able to be up there. But we'll see. Round 3 suspended currently, but the PGA Championship going on through Sunday as well. How about SEMO baseball? Final series against Little Rock. A huge Game 1 win. They win 19-0 in Game 1. On Thursday, a beatdown, 19-0. Nathan Mertens, 7 innings, scoreless. He's back, folks. Had a little rough patch, but he's back. Gunnar Doyle having a huge series. He had a big game there, 3 for 5, 7 RBIs in that opening round game. How about yesterday? They win Game 2, 10-4 the final. Leading RBI man was Bryce Cannon. Cole Wareheim led the way. Wareheim with a home run. Hayden Dow, the Canadian Cowboy, with the win on the mound, going 5+ innings. The senior. And by the way, the senior is going to be honored today. 10 seniors being honored, but also the win for SEMO is big. But how about this game? Southern Indiana and Lindenwood needing some help maybe to get that 4 seed to eliminate one of the elimination games they would have to play, right, in the OVC tournament. So Lindenwood right there, neck and neck with SEMO. Southern Indiana a couple of spots behind both of them. Southern Indiana won over Lindenwood yesterday. So right now, currently, SEMO 15-11 in conference, Lindenwood at 14-11. So because they have the one win better, if they win today, they're the number 4 seed. They control their destiny there, but that's the highest that they could go. So SEMO hoping to clean things out. Afternoon game today. You can hear it on SEMO ESPN Radio. I believe it's a 2 o'clock game. Make sure and join us right here for that. And Eric Sean, should be a good day for baseball. Hopefully they can get that 4 seed. How about the track and field as well for SEMO? They had the championships. That was suspended at time as well. One of the big players, I guess you could say, or competitors was Anna Thompson. Of course, there's so many players for track and field that are, alums of Notre Dame, of Cape Central, of Jackson, of Saxony Lutheran. I mean, all kinds of local people sprinkled in. How about Anna Thompson of Cape Girardeau, able to do her job, and the heptathlon fought back after being down in the final event, able to wear gold. So congrats to her and all the competees there and what they've been able to do. Kendall Holwig posted a new personal record. Delta, okay, Kendall Holwig. Some other ones as well. Discus throws and javelin in different places. The men and women doing a great job there in track and field and kind of leading the way right now. Hopefully they can hang on in the OVC Outdoor Track Championships. And last thing, and we'll let you go, St. Louis Battlehawks. They play today at noon against the Birmingham Stallions. You can watch that game on Fox, Big Fox. It's at the Dome in St. Louis. So that'll be fun as well. Both teams, 5-2 record on the year. So two good teams squaring off today. Battlehawks have won 3 in a row. Look, these two teams, Birmingham and St. Louis, top 2 point suppression teams in the NFL. So their defenses are big. Going to be tough to score points today. Rodrigo Blankenship, arguably the best kicker in the league. He may have a big role today for the Battlehawks. So big game for the boys in blue. Hopefully they can get it done as well. Again, SEMO baseball today. You have high school district action kicking off in soccer. Some things going on as well, along with baseball, softball, that sort of thing. A lot of stuff going on this weekend and then into next week. So make sure and tune in and stay tuned for that. Enjoy the beautiful weekend ahead, folks. And again, stay safe out there. And again, be kind to somebody. Be kind to somebody today and treat others as if you would want to be treated as well. Okay, Rusty Hendricks saying so long, folks. Have a great weekend. You've been listening to the SEMO Scramble on SEMO ESPN.
You've been listening to the SEMO Scramble on SEMO ESPN. Tune in every Saturday morning from 9 to 10 for a dash of hometown pride right here on the SEMO Scramble. Yes, don't miss the latest news, scores, and stories that matter most to local sports enthusiasts. From the Boot Heel and beyond. Right here on SEMO ESPN 1220 AM, 93.5 FM, the SEMO ESPN app, and at SEMOESPN.com.